My name is Eleanor Hayes, and today, as I sit by the window, watching the rain kiss the earth, I am taken back to the love story that shaped my very soul. I am 32 years old now, a wife, a mother, and a woman who has known both the agony and the ecstasy of love. But to tell you my story, I must go back to when I was 22, a young woman who had yet to understand the depth of her own heart. It all began in the autumn of my final year at university. The golden leaves fell like whispered confessions, and the wind carried the scent of change. That was the first time I saw him, Nathaniel Brooks. He was unlike anyone I had ever met, with eyes that held the weight of unspoken stories, and a smile that could unravel my carefully guarded heart. He was a writer, a dreamer, a man who saw poetry in the simplest moments. I was drawn to him in a way that frightened me. I had always been the girl who planned everything, who never let her heart rule her mind. But with Nathaniel, logic seemed to fade into irrelevance. He saw through the walls I had built around myself, and with gentle persistence, he found his way in. We met in the university library, a place where silence reigned, yet our hearts spoke louder than words. At first, we were nothing more than two people who happened to reach for the same book. But as weeks passed, stolen glances turned into hushed conversations, and conversations turned into long walks beneath the city lights. He would read to me poetry, stories, lines that made my heart race, and one day, he whispered the words that would change everything. Eleanor, love is not meant to be logical. It is meant to be felt, to be lived. Let me love you, even if it terrifies you. I should have resisted, but I didn't. Instead, I let myself fall, and for the first time in my life, I understood what it meant to truly live. Our love was breathtaking, intense, the kind that poets write about and dreamers chase. But love, no matter how deep, is never without its trials. Life has a cruel way of testing the strongest of hearts. Just as we were beginning to dream of forever, Nathaniel fell ill. It started with exhaustion, then the coughing, then the weight loss. I watched helplessly as the man who had taught me how to love slowly faded before my eyes. The diagnosis came like a death sentence: leukemia. I refused to believe it. I begged, I prayed, I fought against the reality that was crushing us. Nathaniel, ever the dreamer, smiled through the pain. My love, if my time is limited, then let us make the most of it. Let us love without fear, without hesitation. Let us write our story, even if the pages are numbered. And so, we did. We spent our days making memories that would last beyond a lifetime. We traveled to the places he always wanted to see, held hands beneath the stars, danced in the rain, and whispered dreams we knew might never come true. Every moment was a gift, every second a treasure. As the days grew shorter, and his strength waned, he asked me for one final promise. When I am gone, don't let this love die with me. Carry it with you. Let it guide you. Love again. Live again. And when you find someone who sees you the way I do, let yourself love them without guilt. Love is not meant to be locked away, my darling. I sobbed that night, holding on to him as though my love alone could anchor him to this world. But love does not defy fate. Nathaniel took his last breath on a winter morning as the first snowflakes kissed the ground. He left this world with a whisper of my name on his lips, leaving behind a love that would never truly fade. For years, I carried his words with me. I lived, I healed, and slowly, I learned to love again. His whispers still linger in my heart, guiding me, reminding me that love is eternal, even when the ones we love are gone. Today, as I sit by the window with my husband, the man who patiently pieced my heart back together, I know Nathaniel was right. Love never dies. It simply changes form, existing in the whispers of our hearts forever. As I look at my daughter, playing with the golden leaves outside, I tell her about a man named Nathaniel, about love that transcends time, about the power of memories that live on in our souls. Love is never truly lost. It lives in every heartbeat, in every whisper, in every moment that takes our breath away. Looking back, I realize that love is not just about the moments we live, it's about the echoes they leave behind. Nathaniel was my first love, the kind that carved its way into my soul and left an imprint that time could never erase. His love taught me to embrace the fleeting nature of life, to cherish every second, and to never let fear dictate my heart. Though he is no longer beside me, he lives on in the stories we shared, in the lessons he left behind, and in the quiet whispers of my heart. And as I love again, as I build a future with a family of my own, I carry him with me, not as a sorrowful memory, but as a beautiful testament to a love that, though brief, was infinite in its depth.